Kim here. I recently dyed my hair. I don't know if you guys even noticed because it's very subtle. Like I went from black to brown hair and it turned out so well. I wanted to share with you guys what I did to achieve this hair. I never got my hair like this kind of light brown like ever before, so like it's like crazy, and I want to share with you guys how I got this hair. Let me just give you like a little history on my hair because I think it's only fair for you guys to like know. Okay, so originally I had like very natural black Asian hair that's like not black but in between black and brown. And I didn't dye my hair up until the end of high school, which I dyed it auburn, which was a beautiful auburn. It dyed beautifully because I had virgin hair. So virgin hair is when you haven't ever dyed your hair before and should be able to dye pretty easily. And I had this pretty auburn hair, and I got lots of compliments from it from my aunts and my mom both, and they all ended up dyeing their hair with the same box and color, and my mom, we all had the same color, and that was kind of weird. So then after a few years I got kind of sick of auburn because I got tired of re-dyeing my roots every time. It was just too much work, and I just wanted to go like back to brown, which was a mistake because once you go back to brown it's hard to go back. I was gonna meet my boyfriend long distance, so I wanted to have a whole makeover, so I decided I was gonna go to the salon and actually pay someone to do my hair. I got my nails done, my hair done, my eyelashes done, everything in one day. The lady who was my hairdresser though, she didn't really know what she was doing. I wanted balayage, whatever, and she didn't know what she was doing, and it was not BLH, not even like nice streaks or anything. She basically spent maybe over 6 hours trying to lighten my hair, but it wasn't not gonna lighten like at all, and she kind of just gave up with my bangs being brighter than the rest of my head, and it just looked like a disaster, and I was really embarrassed to go see my boyfriend like this. And in the end, she didn't even want to bother like fixing the entire head because she was just like, I give up, basically. When I came back home, I ended up dyeing my hair back to brown. I just couldn't handle how bad the hair dye went. And I spent like over $100–200 just for her to mess up my hair. And that was really disappointing. If someone's gonna mess up my hair, I'd rather it be myself, and I wouldn't have to be sad over like losing hundreds of dollars over it at least, and I would have just lost maybe like $6 over it. If you ever dye your hair, please don't ever dye it black or brown. Try a really light color at least, because you're gonna change your mind at some point of what you want your hair color to be, because that's like what girls do. Like the season change, we want like a new look and new, just like me right now. Like I wanted lighter hair because it's summer or about to be summer. Finally moved in with my boyfriend. I had him dye my hair auburn. It barely did anything. Like it just like looked slightly lighter, but it didn't look. There wasn't much of a difference really. It was just still like dark hair. That was like last summer when I dyed my hair auburn, and my roots had grown out to like this much maybe, or maybe longer. And since it's been a year, I figured it's like safe to dye my hair again. A year later, which is like the present right now, I decided to dye my hair. So I ended up going to Target, and then I found this box of hair dye, L'Oreal Paris Ferrera High Lift Brown. What attracted me to this box is the fact that it says high lift. High lift is supposed to be like, oh, it could take your hair from like one shade to another, like a drastic kind of change. This is what I saw in the box, like, oh, if you had like brownish hair or blackish hair, it will get you to like this light color. I used about 2 boxes of hair dye, and it felt like it was more than enough, and I have like waist length hair, and I think it did a really good job coloring like everything. I would dye my hair with this box again. I had such a good experience with it. This video isn't like a guarantee saying like if you do this you're gonna definitely get this color or the color of my hair right now. If you have like really black hair, you might need to use a color oops or something to help like wash out the hair dye. If you recently dyed your hair, I suggest waiting a while. Like I waited a whole year before I dyed my hair. And since we're doing this at home right now by ourselves without really knowing what we're doing, I want you to have like an open mind that things can happen, and you need to be ready to like accept whatever happens. If you get hot roots, or if it doesn't dye evenly, or if you run out of hair dye, or your hair turns green. Don't yell at me when any of that happens. I know there's a lot of videos out there on how to dye your hair, but I still think it's nice to kind of just refresh your memory on all the steps of hair dye. So obviously when you first dye your hair, you want to dye your hair with an old t-shirt that you don't care about anymore. I have this shirt from Dollar Tree. Like, Dollar Tree has like these plain t-shirts that you could get for only $1, which is like pretty awesome. And there was this really awesome tip that I heard online where you use petroleum jelly on your skin. Just put it all over wherever the hair dye is gonna touch, or your hair. I put it around my face and my arms because I have long hair. My hair is gonna touch my arms. That will make it so much easier for you to get the hair dye off your face when you're washing it off later. Remember to put it around your neck and your ears too. Also, another good tip is to not wash your hair like 24 hours a day before dyeing your hair. Not washing your hair makes your hair like easier to dye. Be sure to remove everything that's in a room that can possibly get dirty from your hair dye, like things on the wall, like towels. I'm doing it in the bathroom right now. Cover the floors with newspaper. Be sure to make sure it's like really well ventilated where you're doing this, because the hair dye is gonna smell really strong. I eventually opened the door up to get some more ventilation. Be sure to read the instructions because they're actually kind of useful. I already knew before reading instructions, but it also did mention in instructions that you should be dyeing your midsections first and your lengths before dyeing your roots. So I pretty much dyed everything from right here to down here because my roots were already like really long. If you were to dye your starting on your roots already, you're gonna get like hot roots, and that's when you apply the dye onto your roots first, so that dyes faster than the rest of your hair. This part of your hair is like a lot harder to dye compared to the rest of your head. The hair dye came with like a thingy where you mixed into another thingy plus an oil thingy just to make your hair more healthier, I guess. And you just shake everything all up with the black gloves they have on. Tied my hair up so I could work in sections on my hair. And for me personally, I kind of want to go at it kind of slow, because if I rush through this, I'm gonna splatter hair dye like everywhere, especially with my long hair. Like, I have the tendency to like go with all the hair dye. But somehow this time I managed to keep everything on my hair and not all over the place. There was only a few drips here and there on the floor. So you want to go at it by working in small sections. Apply the hair dye onto a piece of hair and work it into your hair by stroking it. Like I mentioned earlier, we're just applying hair dye to your midsections and the lengths first. In the end, we'll go back and apply it to the roots later. Once you're done with the bottom section of your hair, bring the top half down and you start working on that, of course. And I basically just do the same thing, pull out small sections and add some dye and just run it with my hand over and over. And then with the second bottle of hair dye that I had, I just dyed my roots and the back of my head. After you finish applying the hair dye, you want to get a trash bag and cover your hair in it. The heat from the trash bag will help the hair dye a lot better. I left my hair dye on for about an hour. It doesn't recommend you leaving it on for that long, but that's just my standard thing to do. I leave it on for an hour. Like every hair dye, it does come with a conditioner to use. It made my hair like super soft and silky, which I really loved. So when my hair was like wet, I couldn't really see how my hair really looked. Like, I couldn't really see the true hair color yet until I dried it, so I ended up drying it, blow drying it. But I couldn't really tell indoors. It wasn't until I went out I saw how amazingly brown it was. And I don't know if like going outside helped lighten my hair more. So after you dye your hair, don't forget to dry it and then walk outside just to see how light it really is. I think it just needs to hit the sun like a little bit. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to watch me on my previous video. Follow me on all my social media sites or all at Hungry Moo Moo Cow. If you have any questions about how I dyed my hair, feel free to ask. I'm not a professional, but I'll try answering as best as I can.